She boarded Flight 709 like she was trying not to be seen. Quiet, soft steps. A dull gray backpack that looked lighter than the way she carried it. She kept her hair tied in a low knot, head down, as if hoping the world would forget she existed. And truthfully, most passengers did. They brushed past her, dragging carry-ons, juggling coffees, complaining about delays. She simply slipped into seat 19A and folded her hands, like someone trained to take as little space as possible. No, one could have imagined the truth. No, one could have predicted what she used to be, and definitely no one could have known that she, the quiet girl staring out the window, would become the single reason an F-16 distress call changed everything tens of thousands of feet above the earth. The flight leveled at cruising altitude. Engines humming softly. Everyone relaxed into their routines. Some tapped away at laptops. Some scrolled endlessly on their phones. Some snored already, but the girl in 19A remained still. Her eyes weren't simply looking at the sky. They were scanning it. Every layer, every corridor, every formation pattern, because she hadn't always been a passenger, but she had promised never to be what she once was again. The seatbelt light chimed off. The cabin crew began rolling carts. No one noticed the slight tightening in her jaw as she watched the clouds below form a thick white blanket. No one noticed her fingers twitch not nervously, but mechanically asked if she was remembering something her mind was trying hard to forget. Then it began. A sharp, unfamiliar vibration trembled through the plane. It was subtle, so subtle most passengers didn't notice, but she did. Her ears shifted slightly, like she was listening inward. Her breathing slowed. Another vibration. This time, a faint metallic rattle followed it. The captain's voice came through, smooth and calm, but she detected something beneath it, a tension hidden under a professional tone. Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing some unexpected air traffic congestion. Nothing to worry about. We may hold our altitude for a bit. But that was a lie. Not intentional. Captains say what they're trained to say, but she knew the truth. The sky was reacting to something. She looked out the window again. At first, she saw nothing, just endless blue and the trailing shadow of their aircraft. But then barely perceptibly glint, a shadow where there shouldn't be one, a metal flash slicing through clouds, far off their right wing. Her pulse spiked. Not with fear, with recognition. She pressed her forehead gently against the window. The shape wasn't commercial, it wasn't civilian, and it wasn't positioned for escort or patrol. It was hunting. She blinked once, then twice, focused harder. Another shadow appeared, this time on the left. Her stomach tightened like a fist. F-16s. Two of them, but not escorting. Not monitoring. They were wounded. The one on the right flew unevenly, its stabilizer damaged, smoke trailing lightly behind it like a wounded animal struggling to stay in the fight. The one on the left flew close. Almost too close, keeping the formation alive. F-16s, flying this close to a commercial aircraft wasn't normal, flying damaged impossible. Then, through the thin pane of the cabin window, she saw it, a flash, a blink, a signal. She didn't even realize. Her breath had caught. It was a distress pattern. An old one only pilots who flew combat support missions would recognize. She shut her eyes, forced herself to breathe, tried to let it go. She wasn't that person anymore. She didn't fly, didn't respond, she didn't step into chaos. She had promised, but promises crumble quickly when people are about to die. Her eyes opened slowly, sharper than before. Her quiet vanished, her past roared back. The PA system clicked again. The passengers hushed as the captain's voice returned, but this time it cracked. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been contacted by military aircraft in our vicinity. Please remain seated. He didn't finish. A violent shudder tore through the plane. Luggage compartments rattled. A baby screamed. Someone shouted. The cabin lights flickered for a moment, then stabilized. The girl's heart didn't race her. Mind simply switched into a mode it hadn't touched in years. Calculations. Threat, assessment, trajectory, estimation, wind shear, altitude, bleed. Possible hostile presence. Distance of military craft. She unclipped her buckle. A flight attendant rushed toward her. Ma'am, please stay seated. I need to reach the cockpit. Her voice wasn't loud, but it was firm, flat, trained. Man, no one is allowed if I don't go now, she said without blinking. This aircraft won't remain stable. For the next 8 minutes, the flight attendant froze. Shock wasn't the reason. Fear wasn't either. It was the eyes, because the quiet girl's eyes suddenly looked like someone who had stared down death before and didn't flinch. The attendant inhaled shakily. Who are you? She didn't answer, not directly. Take me to the cockpit, right now. Something in her tone made the attendant obey without another argument. The aisle felt endless as she walked, passengers' confused faces turning toward her, whispers rising like static. but she didn't look at anyone. She was already listening ahead, sensing the cockpit's tension like a pressure in the air. Inside the cockpit, the captain and first officer were sweating, literal beads rolling down their temples. The instrument panel glowed with warning indicators blinking in frantic patterns. Altitude deviation, radar interference, proximity alerts. The captain whirled around, startled as the attendant squeezed the girl inside. Who is she? This area is restricted. I can help you, she said. No hesitation. No apology. You most certainly cannot, he snapped. We're dealing with military. And then she did something that made both pilots freeze. She leaned forward, her gaze locking on the radar screen. Evan, from several feet away, identified the problem instantly. There's a third aircraft behind the F-16s, she said quietly, but you can't see it because it's using their radar signatures as masking. That's why you're getting false readings. The first officer stared at her like she had spoken a forbidden language. How did you know that? He whispered. She didn't answer. Instead, she pointed to a control. You need to adjust your transponder output by 3%. It'll disrupt the masking layer. The captain bristled. I am not taking instructions from a passenger, but before he could finish, the entire cockpit jolted, this time harder than before. Alarms erupted in a deafening wail. The plane dipped sharply to the right, enough to send coffee splashing across the panels. The first officer grabbed the controls. We're losing heading. The captain cursed under his breath. She stepped forward. If you don't change the transponder output, you're going to lose control of this aircraft because you're flying blind into active military conflict. The captain hesitated. The war in his mind was clear: protocol versus survival. Finally, he exhaled. Defeated. Fine. 3%, no more. The first officer adjusted the setting. Instantly, the radar screen flickered, then revealed a massive shape that had been hidden behind the F-16 south. A rogue drone. Armed. Heavy. Hostile. The first officer whispered. Dear God. The captain turned slowly toward the girl. Who are you? She stared at the radar. Her voice was low. Flat. Almost haunted. Someone who's already lost too many pilots. Before she could say more, the radio crackled. A voice came through, strained, broken, gasping. Mayday, Falcon 2, to any receiving frequency. We're hit. Falcon 1 is critical. Requesting immediate static. Swallowed the rest. The girl's chest tightened. Her jaw clenched. Falcon. A calcine she knew too well. 1, she wished she could forget. The captain fumbled with the radio. This is Commercial Flight 709. What is your situation? The voice returned, barely audible. We can't shake it. Targeting system locked. Fuel bleeding out. Requesting emergency support. Does anyone out there? Another explosion boomed somewhere outside, muffled by the distance but close enough to shake the entire plane again. The girl pressed her palm against a window and stared into the clouds. Where was she? Where was the one aircraft that responded to these emergencies? Where was the beast of the battlefield? The one nobody wanted to see unless they were on the right side of its cannon. Why wasn't it here yet? The pilot's voice came again, desperate. Falcon to repeat. What do you need? Static. Then a rumble. Deep. Thunderous. Growing. The girl's pulse stilled. She knew that sound. The world knew that sound. The sky split open as a monstrous gray shadow tore through the clouds above them, slow, brutal, terrifyingly graceful. An A-10 Thunderbolt II. The legendary WARTHOG. Its 30mm cannon glinted in the sunlight, like a warning to anything foolish enough to test it. I dropped into formation like a guardian descending from a forgotten era. Passengers gasped. Crew members froze. The captain stared in disbelief. But the girl? She closed her eyes, not in fear, not in shock, in recognition, because the A-10 wasn't just any aircraft to her. It was hers, her old squadron, her old world crashing back. And as that A-10 pilot's voice crackled over the radio, she felt her past slam into her chest like a force she could no longer run from. Falcon. This is Warthog 6. I have visual. You're not dying today. Stay tight. I'm engaging. The girl opened her eyes. Everything she had escaped was now above them. Everything she had sworn never to be again was staring her in the face. The cockpit fell into a silence that didn't feel like calm, more like the heavy pause before a storm tears the sky open. The girl stood between the pilots, eyes locked on the A-10 Thunderbolt emerging through the clouds like a metal beast waking from hibernation. Its wings were scarred, painted with years of service, the unmistakable shark-mouth nose art snarling through the haze. Warthog 6. She knew exactly who that was. She recognized the way it moved, slow but unshakably confident, like it feared nothing that breathed. The radio crackled sharply. Falcon 2, maintain heading. I'm pulling high, right? Target identified. Heavy drone with active lock. Another shudder ran through the commercial plane, but this time it didn't come from damage. It came from the A-10's roar, ripping past them, engines growling like a war animal on a leash. The passengers screamed. The crew braced, the captain cursed under his breath, but the girl, she took a slow breath, her shoulders tightening like someone preparing to step into a fight they once commanded. The drone reappeared sleek, black, unnatural, slicing through the clouds with an eerie mechanical precision. It was bigger than most attack drones, military grade, heavily armed, flying without identification. Its cold shape drifted behind the wounded F-16S, like a predator toying with injured prey. The A-10 Dove. The cockpit radio erupted with overlapping voices. Warthog 6, clear of our tail. Falcon 2, we're losing fuel, losing altitude, multiple radar locks multiple. The captain gripped the controls, knuckles white. What is happening out there? The girl stepped closer, voice steady. The F-16s can't outrun that drone. They're damaged. Their fuel mix is unstable. If the A-10 doesn't hit that thing in the next 90 seconds, the drone will attack, and we're in its path. The first officer stared at her helplessly. How do you know all this? She didn't answer. There wasn't time. Her eyes went to the A-10 sweeping wide, banking hard, wings flexing as it prepared for a firing run. But something was wrong. Very wrong. The angle was off. Too steep, too slow. To know, she whispered. He's compensating for wind the wrong way. He's setting up the wrong approach. The captain snapped toward her. And how would you possibly know the correct? She didn't let him finish. Her voice cut him clean. Because I designed that approach. Both pilots froze. The radio blasted again. Warthog 6, diving, making shot taking. But the girl lunged forward and seized the unused radio handset. Break your approach, she shouted. Pull left, you're drifting into his lock line. Pull left now. The captain reached to grab the radio from orbit, stopped when the A-10 suddenly jerked violently in the sky. Banking left in a desperate, teeth-gritting turn, a missile shot through the space the A-10 had occupied just seconds earlier. A white streak of death. If she hadn't spoken, if he hadn't heard, he would have taken the hit. The cockpit fell silent, except for the alarms. A stunned voice filled the radio. Whoever said that, I heard you. A breath. Repeat, who am I talking to? She held the radio to her lips. Her voice dropped into a tone she hadn't used in years, low, razor steady, authoritative. This is Valkyrie. A pause, thick as thunder. I'm on board, Flight 709. The radio exploded with emotion. Valkyrie, no, that's impossible. You retired. You disappeared. They said, I know what they said. She replied softly. Focus, we don't have time. Ma'am, the captain said, swallowing hard. Who? Exactly. Are you? She didn't look away from the window. Former Combat Systems Analyst, A-10 Squadron Support, Tactical Operations Command. Her eyes darkened. I spent 5 years guiding pilots through firestorms most people never hear about. 5 years. The first officer murmured. She corrected him. 5 years. Before the mission that ended my career, the radio cut through the tension again. Valkyrie, we need you. Falcon 1 is barely holding altitude. Falcon 2's stabilizer is failing, and the drone still has lock. What do we do? She closed her eyes for half a second, just half letting old instincts rebuild themselves over her fear. Then she opened them. Warthog 6, you need to force it into a vertical climb. The drone loses stability at steep altitude changes. Copy that. Moving. And Falcon 2, she continued. Lead left thrust by 2%. It'll stabilize your wing imbalance. The pilot responded instantly. 2% doing it now. And tell Falcon 1 to bring his nose down 3 degrees. It'll reduce structural stress. Even the captain beside her whispered, how do you know all this from just looking? She ignored him. Her mind was back in the sky years ago where it had learned to save lives by seconds. Outside, the A-10 surged upward, engines roaring as it climbed above the drone. In the clouds, its silhouette looked almost prehistoric, wide wings stretched, nose tilted, cannon glinting like a storm forged from metal. Then it dove, a controlled fall, smooth, devastating, Warthog 6, engaging. The drone reacted, spinning, twisting, trying to escape the A-10's grip. It fired another missile, detonating just behind the F-16s, shaking the entire airspace. Passengers in the cabins screamed again. Overhead bins popped open. Oxygen masks trembled. The captain yelled, we need to divert, we need to descend. But the girl didn't even blink. Double quotes. No, you descend now. You'll drift into the fight zone. Hold altitude and stay steady. He looked at her, this quiet passenger who suddenly commanded the sky like she owned it. You're not making the decisions here. She turned her head toward him slowly, eyes sharp as steel. If you descend, that drone recalibrates and targets the largest signature in its vicinity. Her gaze held his until he gulped. That's us. A beat, hold altitude. The captain's resistance broke. Fine. Holding altitude. The drone twisted again, searching for the commercial aircraft, its targeting system flickering like a hungry eye, but the A-10 wouldn't let it. Warthog 6's voice crackled. I have visual. Lining up the cannon, the girl's breath tightened. Careful, she said into the radio. It's trying to bait you into overshooting. Adjust your pitch by, but the drone moved first. It shot upward right toward the A-10. Her heart stopped. Warthog 6, Break. The A-10 snapped into a brutal roll, wings tilting nearly vertical. The drone missed by inches, but its momentum faltered. That was enough. The A-10 completed its turn, nose locking onto the drone. Then the sky trembled as the GAU-8 Avenger cannon unleashed fire. Short bursts, controlled deadly clouds lit up with flashes, like lightning trapped inside them. The drone shuddered, smoked, twisted violently. Direct hit. The A-10 shouted, but the girl frowned. No, something's wrong. The drone didn't fall. It steadied, it turned, and it pointed directly at their commercial aircraft. Oh no, the first officer whispered. The targeting lock alarm blared inside the cockpit. The drone had chosen its final target. The largest one, the slowest one, the one filled with innocent people. Flight 709. Passengers shrieked behind them as turbulence slammed through the fuselage. The captain fought the controls. Warning lights flashed like a Christmas nightmare, and the drone barreled straight toward them. Faster, faster, faster. The girl lifted the radio, breath shaking for the first time. Warthog 6, it's targeting us. I see it moving to intercept. But he was too far, too slow, too low. The drone was seconds away. The captain whispered, voice breaking, brace for impact. The girl stepped forward and grabbed the microphone. Her voice, for the first time, cracked with emotion. You listen to me, she said to the pilots, both of you, pull left 2 degrees. Just 2. Trust me. The captain obeyed instinctively. The plane tilted. A small motion, barely noticeable, but everything depended on it. The drone rushed in, 10 seconds, 8.6, 4, and a shadow streaked across the sky, like a ghost made of steel. Something slammed into the drone from the side. A blur, a roar, a scream of vengeance. Another aircraft had appeared in A-10 she didn't recognize. Calcyon, no radio signature, no identification, it collided, wing to wing with the drone, knocking it offline. The drone spiraled, lost control, exploded into a ball of fire. The shockwave rattled the air, but the girl had saved the angle. The plane held steady. The passengers cried, the pilots sagged in relief. The captain covered his face with both hands, and the girl just stared at the burning debris falling through the clouds, heart pounding with a mix of fury and heartbreak. The radio crackled. Valkyrie, we're clear. A deep exhale. You saved us. But she wasn't listening. She was staring at the mystery A-10, drifting through the smoke, its wings tipped in a silent salute. She stepped closer to the window, breath fogging the glass, because she knew that maneuver. She knew that flying signature. She had seen it once before, years ago, in a place where she nearly lost everything. It couldn't be him. He was gone. He was. The unknown pilot's voice finally came through the radio, a voice she hadn't heard since the day she quit the sky. Hello, Valkyrie. A pause that froze her. It's been a long time. Her heart slammed into her chest. Impossible, unbelievable, but painfully real. She whispered his name.